Welcome once again to Future Proof Your Wealth. How to protect your children and legacy from taxes, courts, and the unexpected with the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. This blueprint is going to be your key to protecting your wealth and your family. But before we get started, because we're gonna deal with a heavy topic. So before we get started, we gotta throw a joke in. So why don't skeletons make good estate planners? Because they don't have the guts to talk about death. But don't worry, I do. And today we're going to have a real talk about protecting your family's future and future-proofing your wealth. Let's talk about what matters. Let's talk about protecting what matters. Welcome to the masterclass that could change your family's future. Why? Today we're going to be talking about something that's often overlooked, even by the smartest and wealthiest of families. Why so many lose millions without ever realizing it, the hidden risk to your children's future, and the proven system to secure your legacy, right? The proven system I have developed to help families to help families just like yours, protect their wealth, preserve their legacy, and give their children a rock solid foundation no matter what life brings. This is about future-proofing everything you've built and making sure it lives on for the people who matter most. So let's dive in. We'll be here together for about 60 to 90 minutes. And during this time, I'm going to show you exactly how to future-proof your wealth for generations without court battle, unnecessary taxes, or the risk of losing control over your assets, using my signature system, the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. Sounds good? Who here wants to make sure their wealth is protected and their family is secure no matter what? So who is this for? This masterclass is designed specifically for wealthy parents with minor children, families who want to leave a legacy of ease, and those seeking certainty and control. And for estates valued up to $7 million. Yeah, we can definitely help for estates bigger than that, but the blueprint was designed for estates under $7 million. Anyone with an estate here over $7 million, you require a little bit more advanced planning, and let's talk separately about that. Now, if you stay with me till the end, because you just don't want to miss it. It's like when you're in a movie, they're like, stay for the end credits, because there's always an incredible scene. Stay until the end, and you will get this free gift to discover how this free exclusive gift right here. This exclusive guide reveals the 7 most common costly mistakes families make without even realizing, and most importantly, how you can avoid them. It's your first step towards safeguarding your legacy and keeping your loved ones financially secure no matter what. So stay with me here. So who am I to talk about this? I have been a lawyer for 20 years. And for the past year and a half, I've dedicated my practice to helping families future-proof their wealth and protect their children through a comprehensive estate planning system I call the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. This blueprint was created specifically for wealthy parents with minor children who don't own a business, but want to make sure their family is protected, their wealth is preserved, and their loved ones avoid a legal mess that often follows an unexpected event. Unlike traditional estate planning, which can feel overwhelming, confusing, and time-consuming, the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint is a streamlined, done-for-you process, and it's designated to ensure your spouse and children are fully protected without the stress of probate, court delays, or uncertainty. Imagine waking up with zero worry about what if? When you implement the family wealth protection blueprint, you will wake up every morning with a new sense of peace. There's no lingering anxiety about what if something happens to me, because you know your spouse has full access to everything immediately. No court battles, no frozen accounts, no stress. Your children's future is secure. They will always be financially provided for no matter what. And your assets are protected. No probate, no unnecessary taxes, no wasted money. Who doesn't want that? Instead of worrying about the unknown, you feel calm, confident, and in control. And who doesn't want peace of mind? I mean, think about it. Money, peace of mind. Well, okay, that's not a fair one. But you know what I mean? Now, if you have money and the peace of mind, you are golden. And that's what you're going to get with the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. You'll get peace of mind knowing everything is taken care of, and you'll get more money. Why? Because you'll be protecting yourself from unnecessary taxes and fees by not going to probate. So, yeah, this slide says, I didn't always have a plan, which is really sad, really sad. So as I mentioned, I'm the owner of Mason Firm LLC, but breaking into the legal profession wasn't easy because the traditional path wasn't built for someone like me. Yeah, sad. But I didn't cry over spilled milk. What did I do? Life give you lemons. My little niece used to say, when life give you lemons, you squeeze them back in life. Which is funny. But what I did was that I wasn't giving me opportunity, so I built my own. And if you're out there thinking like, hey, I didn't have opportunities, but I'm sure, you know what? You can always build your own. It's always great to do that. I started my own law firm with one mission: to offer the kind of personalized legal services I wish existed. Representation that truly puts people first. For years, I thrived in entertainment law, helping artists and creators protect their rights. But something deeper kept tugging at me. Every time I saw another entertainer passed away without a plan, leaving behind chaos for their families, I found myself thinking, what about my own family, my friends, my community? You know that feeling when you keep putting something off, you know that is important. That was estate planning for me. Every time I had surgery and the doctors would ask, do you have a living will? And every time I answered like the same, no. Instead of planning, I just prayed. I hope for the best. Maybe you've done that too. Putting off something essential, thinking you'll handle it later. And one day I decided enough was enough. I refused to leave my future and my family's security to chance. I didn't want my assets tied up in probate. I didn't want my loved ones stuck in court, fighting for access to my accounts. I just wanted peace of mind. So I used the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, the same system I now use with clients, to create a plan for my own family. And the moment it was done, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Complete peace. Complete peace. That's when I knew that it wasn't just about me. This was something I had to share. I committed myself to mastering estate planning so I could help other families do the same. Protect what matters most. Preserve their wealth. Pass on a legacy of love and intention. Today, I'm not just a lawyer. I'm a guide to help you protect your family with the same system that changed my life. Because if we don't plan, the courts will, And that's not a risk I'm willing to take. Are you? The biggest mistake wealthy parents make is believing that money alone will protect their children. But the truth is, without the right plan in place, your wealth could be lost to taxes, tied up in court, or even end up in the hands of your child's future ex-spouse. Right now, if you don't have a solid plan in place, you may find yourself constantly wondering, what would happen to my children and assets if something happened to me? And I literally met someone in church that has like this paranoia. Like they would not go out together as a couple because she is just completely paranoid that suppose they go out on date night and didn't come back because they had no plan in place. You're not going to let that be you. And another thing you might be wondering here is like, would my children's inheritance be lost to lawsuits, divorces, or even their own reckless spending? Would my wealth be frozen in probate for months or even years, drained by legal fees and court costs? Who would speak on my behalf if I had a medical emergency? Who would handle my affairs? Yeah, you don't want to be the one at the hospital like I was. That I did have a plan, but I had a prayer. And thank God, all my surgeries went well, and I never needed those documents because God forbid if I did. Who would have made those decisions for me? Would estate taxes eat away everything I have built? And perhaps most painful of all, who would raise my children? Would they be protected or taken advantage of because of what they inherit? All of these things, these questions should scare you because they're scary. And that's why my church friend had anxiety. These are questions that keeps parents up at night. But the good news is you don't have to live in uncertainty because there is a better way. I keep telling my little church, right, girl, there is a better way. There is a better way. Why are you living like that? You're not living. You can't even do a date night. Come on now. There must be a better way. And there's a solution. There's a solution. That's exactly why I created the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, because this isn't just about legal documents. It's about creating peace of mind, financial security, and generational wealth protection that lasts. With the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, parents gain total peace of mind, knowing their children and assets are fully protected. A rock solid plan to ensure your legacy lives on for generations. Powerful legal, financial, and tax advantages that maximize wealth transfer. Confidence that your wealth, that your healthcare wishes will be honored without confusion. You're having that surgery. God forbid something goes wrong. That's taken care of. A stress-free future knowing your estate is bulletproof against legal threats, unnecessary taxes, and a nightmare of probate because, we don't want to get tied up. Not at all. As powerful as the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint is, the truth is most parents with minor children still don't plan. And after speaking to many parents, I have discovered that it usually comes down to two hidden reasons. So the two reasons that parents don't plan is that, oh, I'm too young to worry about estate planning. If I had $1 for every time someone told me that. And two, estate planning is time consuming and unnecessary. My family will get the money anyway. These two reasons could not be further from the truth. So reason one, I am too young to worry about estate planning. So let me tell you about, does anyone here know about Terry Shriver? The tragic case of Terry Shriver. 15 years of a court battle because of no help. A lot of parents with minor children believe that they're too young to create an estate plan. Why would I need to plan for that. I'm too young. I'm healthy. Besides, estate planning is for those older people. However, anything could happen. Anything could happen, and you could be struck down in your prime. I want to now share with you the heart-wrenching case of Terry Shriver. In 1990, Terry Shriver was 26, just 26. She was newly married, healthy, and her whole life was ahead of her. One morning, she collapsed in her Florida home from cardiac arrest. A potassium imbalance caused her brain damage, and she slipped into a persistent vegetative state. She didn't have a healthcare directive, no living will, no written wishes. In 1995, 5 years after her cardiac arrest, and now she's in a vegetative state, her husband had come to the terms with the fact that Terry was not coming back. And he believed she wouldn't have wanted to live like that. Her parents, on the other hand, her parents believed that she would want to stay alive no matter what. And so the court battle that would last, and so began the court battle that would last 15 years. Her husband and her parents went to war in court, in the media, and the court of public opinion. The case went through multiple states and federal courts of appeals, protests, even an act of Congress. Meanwhile, Terry's body was being kept alive through a feeding tube as her family and her husband ripped each other apart. Her husband argued that Terry would not have wanted her life artificially prolonged, with no hope of recovery, and tried to have the feeding tubes removed. Her parents begged to differ and argued to keep the feeding tube in place. Her husband finally won the right to have Terry's feeding tube removed, and it was removed on March 18, 2005, and Terry died March 31st, 2005. Remember, I told you she had the heart attack in 1990. On her headstone at her grave, it was engraved, born December 3rd, 1963, departed this earth February 25th, 1990, at peace March 31st, 2005. This is absolutely crazy and so sad, because that family was never the same again. Could this be your family's worst nightmare? The Terry case became a national controversy. But to me, it's something more terrifying, a family's worst nightmare. And it all happens because a young, healthy woman didn't have a plan. I want to pause for a moment and ask you a few questions. If something happens to you or your spouse, who makes the medical decisions? Will your family be at war like Terry's? Could you really leave your children and loved ones in that kind of pain? Think about that for a moment. Can you? Would you? Oh, wait, there is a better way. You see, life doesn't wait for the perfect time to throw the unexpected your way. But with the right plan in place, you can be prepared. The Family Wealth Protection Blueprints includes everything you need, from guardianship designations to healthcare directives, to ensure your family never ends up in the legal nightmare like Terry's. I just want to pause a moment right now and check in with you. Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Because every time I share Terry's story, it hits me deeply. It's emotional. And honestly, it's heartbreaking. So, are you okay? Are you okay? Let's take a deep breath. And if you're still here with me and you're okay, just drop a thumbs up or a broken heart in the chat if this make you think. If this make you think. If this is hitting you the way it's hitting me right now. Just drop. Yeah. But let's move on. Let's move on. Because as sad as this is, we could all learn from other people's mistakes. And I know about this case, and I was just like, that's why I said enough was enough. I had to get my own planning in place, because that's crazy. I can't even imagine if my surgeries went awry at the time when I didn't have any kind of planning in place. That would have been crazy. All right. So now we get to the second reason. The second reason. Now we get to the second reason why most wealthy parents don't plan. They go, estate planning is time consuming and unnecessary, and my family will get the money anyway. Now let's turn to reason number two. As a parent with minor children, life can be hectic, and estate planning is not at the top of your to-do list because you believe that estate planning is time consuming and unnecessary, and your family will get the money anyway. But wait, not so fast. Your assets could be frozen. Your estate could spend years in probate, and during that time, bills pile up, assets lose value, and emotions run high. Let me tell you a story about a successful couple, two driven professionals with young sons, age 7 and 10. They decided to take a well-earned road trip across the Western US. This was supposed to be a break from their busy lives, time to reconnect with each other. They were driving through Colorado when their SUV was struck head-on by a semi-truck that crossed the median. Both parents died on impact. The boys survived. But what happened next was gut-wrenching. No guardianship had been legally designated, so those two little boys, traumatized and grieving, were taken into state protective custody. That's right. They didn't go to grandma. They didn't go to Aunt Lisa. They went into the system. Meanwhile, the relatives from New York and others from California started fighting over who should raise them. The custody battle got nasty. One relative even accused another of being unfit to raise the children. And all the while this is happening, the boys had no permanent home, just temporary placement. But it gets worse. The couple had several investment accounts, a home, multiple bank accounts, but everything was frozen. The children couldn't access anything. No money for counseling, private schooling, even their basic needs. Why was this happening? Because no one had the legal authority to act. It took almost 2 years for the family to get guardianship and full access to this. And by that point, the emotional scars on the boys were deep. These children not only lost their parents, but they also lost their sense of security. All because two very responsible parents didn't know that their wealth without a plan means nothing. This is why the family wealth protection blueprint is critical, because it allows you to create legal guardianship documents to ensure the people you choose raise your kids and not the court's choice. It will also ensure that their basic needs are met. So wealth without a plan equals wealth loss. Indeed it does. Because another issue that arises is that if you don't take the time to plan now, it will take your family more time to figure out your estate later. I had a client whose husband died suddenly. No will, no trust, nothing. He was a music artist, and she had no idea what assets he owned or where to find his royalties. It took me 2 years to track down his assets, which were in the US, and cost her $50,000 in legal fees. As if that wasn't crazy enough, A few years later, someone from Europe contacted her to license a song, and we could not find the song in his catalog. It turned out her husband had forgot to add it to his catalog. By the time we discovered the error, 10 years of royalty collection had passed. That could no longer be collected. Her family lost thousands of dollars in income. All this could have been avoided if he had planned in advance. The Family Wealth Protection Blueprint helps you to create an inventory of assets so that nothing is lost to the State Department of Unclaimed Property, which stands at $6 billion in New Jersey, or lose assets otherwise because your family did not know they exist. When your kids inherit too soon, oh my goodness. This right here will destroy generational wealth. Now let's fast forward into the future. And let's say you never got around to do that planning. Your kids are no longer minors. They're now 18 and they inherit everything because something happened to you. Sounds simple, right? But this might be the worst thing that could ever happen for them. So I heard a story of a young man who inherited $2.5 million at age 18 when both of his parents suddenly passed away. No trust, no guidance, no limits. He bought a luxury car, he dropped out of college, started partying, and got married impulsively. Within 2 years, the money was gone. Worse, the marriage ended in divorce, and his ex walked away with half of what was left because there was no asset protection in place. He not only lost the money, he lost direction. Later, when regret set in, he said, I wish someone had protected me from myself. You can be that someone for your children. This is an unfortunate outcome, and it's all too common when young adults receive large inheritances without proper safeguards. Without structured planning, your hard-earned wealth could vanish due to poor decisions, creditors, or legal disputes. So you can be that person who protect your children from their own self-destruction. You don't want to die without any kind of planning and have all this money flood into your children at age 18. However, this doesn't have to be your kid's reality, as I just mentioned. With the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, you control when, how, and under what circumstances your children inherit. By creating a lifetime asset protection trust, you ensure their inheritance is not lost to divorce, creditors, or poor money management. And you will be able to preserve your wealth for generations to come. Future-proof your wealth, for lack of a better term. I've heard this saying goes, two things are certain in life, death and taxes. Oh, yes, indeed. They say only, two things are certain, death and taxes. And when it comes to estate planning, both show up at the same time. Here's what you need to know. New Jersey no longer has an estate tax, which is good news for many families. However, there is an inheritance tax, but it only applies to certain beneficiaries. And more good news, your children, spouse, parents, and charities are exempt from this inheritance tax. But if you're leaving assets to siblings, nieces, nephews, or friends, they could. And at the federal level, estate exemption is currently $13.99 million per individual and $27.98 million for married couples. So if your estate falls below these thresholds, you're in the clear for now. But tax laws changes, and without the right structure in place, your estate could lose value unnecessarily. That's, again, hey, that's why I created the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. Includes tax-aware strategies to ensure your legacy passes smoothly and efficiently to the people you love the most. So what's your cost of doing nothing? What happens when you do nothing? What happens if you don't get your estate planning done? Let's break it down in some real dollars, real dollars, time, and emotional costs. So what's the financial cost here if you do nothing and you decide not to do your estate planning? Thousands lost in legal fees, probate costs, and taxes. Time, months or even years of delays before your family can access your assets, and you might be able to get more money, but you can never get more time. And this last one here, this is the absolute worst, because the absolute worst is that the emotional cost, family conflict, as we see in the Terry Shivo instance, uncertainty, and added grief during an already painful time. You're just at this point piling on the drama on your family if you decided that you're not going to do anything and let them figure it out. Now, the cost of probate. If you pass away without an estate plan, your family will be forced to go through probate, a long, expensive, and public court process. So here's what it looks like. Say you have, like generally, say you got, it could be like 15,000 to 40,000 in court costs, costs and fees, attorney's fees and costs, depending on the size of your estate. Bigger the estate, more money. You know the saying, more money, more problems. Bigger estate, more money. Executor and administrative fees can run you 3 to 5%. So on an estate value of about $1 million, that's about 30,000 to 50,000 in additional fees on top of the court costs and attorney's fees you already have. Delayed access to assets. You could be looking at 12 to 24 months, a year or two, before your heirs receive anything. Lost value due to court supervision. So investment accounts may be frozen. Property may be sold below market value. So what's your total monetary cost you're looking at here? You're looking at a total monetary cost of about 45,000 to 90,000 in years of delay before your family sees a dime. Now, what's the cost to your children? Just make sure that didn't jump ahead. Okay, great. So what's the cost to your children? What are you doing to your kids when you don't plan ahead? What happens to them? Without a legal plan in place, your children's future is left to the court system. Emergency custody battles if both parents are gone and the state decides who raises your children. The foster care risk. If no immediate family is available, your kids could enter the foster care system while guardianship is decided. Frozen bank accounts, so that's no access to your money for their care until probate is complete, which could take years. And court control the inheritance. If your children inherit money before age 18, a court will decide how it's managed, not you. And whoever is taking, the court then appoints to take care of your children, and they want money to do anything for your children after court permission. It gets crazy. So the emotional costs, trauma, instability, and uncertainty for your children. So let me get this straight. Your children's already grieving because mommy and daddy is no longer coming home. And by you not planning, you're just piling on top of that grief, which is also tragic. And now let's look about that one thing. All right, go back. So let us look at the one thing that money cannot buy. Can buy time, right? You cannot buy back time. Once time is gone, it is gone. The last 40s, it's like 6:47. The 47 minutes I just spent chatting to you will never come back. That time is gone. So the time spent in court, we're talking like 50 to 200 plus hours over months or even years. Uh, Filing and attending hearings, yes, somebody got to show up to court. So 5 to 10 court appearances for probate matters, gathering financial documents and debt settlements, hundreds of emails, phone calls, and appointments. So if your family's trying to, like muddle through all the stuff you left back, they might be able to locate all your assets. As I mentioned with my client that had the music royalties that didn't know where to find, like, all, it was a hard time finding the assets, and it took me 2 years to track them down. And that was just the US assets. And then we found out years later that there was this other piece of asset that could have been generating hundreds of thousands of dollars that we never knew about for 10 years. And yeah, couldn't really claim that money after. So loss of income, loss of money when you don't plan. And now somebody in your family is trying to figure all that out, right? And if you weren't good at record keeping, somebody got to go through the mess. And again, they might not be able to find everything. And conflict among your family members. Legal battles over inheritance can destroy relationships, because we all know that sometimes in some families, and this might not be your family, but it happens where money makes people crazy a lot of the times. And not everybody is fighting over what you have. And guess what? Sometimes when you don't have a plan, things, well, in your instance, everything will just go to your children. But still, you want to have a plan. So when you look at the total time cost, we're looking at 1 to 2+ years of stress, frustration, and family conflict. And I will go further to say it's not just 1 to 2 years, because sometimes this whole thing causes fissures in families that never get repaired. It's just a lifetime of stress, frustration, and family conflict. It's so much more sometimes than that 1 to 2 years, because you're not thinking, you got to think about the long-term impact and effect of what your lack of planning now burden you left behind on your family. The total cost of doing nothing. You spend 1 to 2+ years of stress, frustration, and family conflict. Emotional trauma. So trauma, you have emotional trauma, instability, and uncertainty for your children. On a $1 million estate, you're looking at $45,000 to $90,000 in just fees, costs. Yeah, think about that for a second. You're leaving all that you did not plan, and now you're spending your estate is spending nearly $90,000 in fees. Like, seriously, what could you probably have done with that? Shoot, that's your kids' tuition if they want to go to college. And all because you didn't plan. This is why planning is important. You don't want to lose money unnecessarily or give it away. So now that you know the risks, let's talk about the solution, because that's the cool thing here. There is a solution. There is a better way. You've seen what happens when families don't plan. Now let's imagine a world where people do plan. Yes. And what happens? Your family never ends up in court. Your wealth is passed down the right way. Your children are protected, guided, and financially secure. And you, what do you have when all this goes down? You have total and complete peace of mind. So let me ask you this question. If you knew there was a simple, proven way to protect your children, your legacy, and your peace of mind, would you want to know about it? I'm not talking about some cookie cutter legal template that they'll sell you online through those websites. I'm talking about a done-for-you system designed specifically for families like yours, wealthy parents, minor children, real concerns about court, taxes, and chaos. If you're saying yes, I'd love to learn to know more, then let me introduce you to the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. The thing I kept talking over and over about, the thing you probably came here to find out more about. Let's talk about that now. So Introducing the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, a comprehensive estate planning system designed specifically for wealthy parents with minor children. It addresses the unique challenges your family faces and ensures that your children, assets, and legacy are protected no matter what happens. The Family Wealth Protection is built to protect children, assets, legacy, no matter what. Here's your blueprint. In this blueprint, what does this blueprint consist of? Because you heard about the blueprint. You heard about the blueprint. So now let's talk about what's actually in this Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. What you're gonna get. So in the blueprint, you get planning and design session, right? So what this is, it's a 2-hour, the planning and design session is a 2-hour future-proof your family and wealth planning session. This is a personalized experience. So let's say, 2-hour future-proof your family and wealth planning session. This 2-hour planning session is a personalized legal experience that educates you on how to protect your children and preserve your wealth. You will gain a clear understanding of your options, so you never create a plan you don't fully understand. Then we design a custom plan that works for your family when it matters most. So let's see, you're gonna get the planning and design session, a $1,200 value, and then you're gonna get a kids protection plan, which is a $3,000 value for a total value of $4,200. So what's in the kids protection plan? The kids protection plan includes nomination of short-term guardians in the event of an accident, someone to secure. So in the event of an accident, this is someone to secure your children until the next steps are determined. Then you have nomination of long-term guardians, which is someone to care for your children if you are deceased. And then we have instruction to caregivers, which is the detailed instructions to the babysitter or whoever's watching your kids about what to do in the case of an emergency. We have their health information and a medical power of attorney for your child in case they need to go to the doctor if you're incapacitated. So let's recap again what you're going to get here. It's that you get the planning and design session, a $1,200 value, a kids protection plan, a $3,000 value, and then you're going to get the trust protection package, the most powerful piece of the family wealth protection blueprint that helps to preserve that generational wealth and keep your distribution of your assets private. So that's a total of a $21,000 value. And what's in this trust protection package? So in the trust protection package, you're getting your RLT, your revocable living trust, which future-proof your wealth, protect your children, and protect you and avoid probate. Protect your assets and avoid probate. To a family trust to protect your assets and children's inheritance when one spouse die. So this is what I like to call, you're trying to avoid the Cinderella scenario, right? Where one parent dies, the other parent leaving a child with the surviving spouse, and that surviving spouse remarries, and that child then both parents die, original parents die, and then that child is kind of left in a lurch with the evil stepmother, right? Who gives them nothing and treat them horribly. So you don't want to have the Cinderella effect. That's what I like to call that. So you get a family trust, you get a lifetime asset protection trust, which ensures your children's inheritance is protected from lawsuits, creditors, potential future divorces, and also ensures responsible financial management of your children's inheritance. You get a certification of trust to simplify the titling of your assets to the trust, and you get a trust summary to make it easier to review your wishes. So we're going to recap it. We're going to recap. What are you getting, right? You get the planning and design session, a $1,200 value. your kids protection plan, which is a $3,000 value, a trust protection package, which is a $16,800 value, and you got your will package, a $2,000 value, for a total so far of a $23,000 worth of value of estate planning. So what's in your will package? Your will package will include 2 pour-over wills, so one for each spouse, to transfer any asset you might have acquired later but forgot to transfer into your trust. So say, you sign up today, you get the family wealth protection blueprint package, and we did your estate planning, everything, we transferred your assets, it's all nice, said and done. And then you forgot to, you got an asset, but it didn't make it into your trust. This will cover pouring over those assets into your existing trust that we created. So again, we're going to recap up to where we're at now. Are you keeping track about all this great value you're getting here? So you're going to get the planning and design session, a $1,200 value. So you're never clueless about what's actually in your estate plan. You're going to get a kids protection plan for a $3,000 value, a trust protection package, a $16,800 value, a will package, a $2,000 value, an incapacity protection package, a $6,000 value, and now you're at $29,000 total value of estate planning in this family wealth protection blueprint. And so what's in this incapacity protection package? In that package, you're going to get 2 powers of attorney to have. So again, everything is one for each spouse. You each need one when it comes to document like these to handle, and these power of attorney is going to handle personal and business affairs on your behalf, such as banking and signing legal documents if you're incapacitated or you're just not able to do so. And you get your healthcare documents to ensure your healthcare wishes are carried out. Living will, medical power of attorney, and of course the HIPAA. Because this, if you remember the Terry Schiavo case I was telling you about, this is what was missing from her estate planning, which is why she had a heart attack in 1990 and was pretty much on a vegetable and never taken off life support until 15 years later and allowed to die. And if you remember, there was that crazy intervening court battle with her husband and her parents trying to say, would she want to stay or would she want to go? We're making sure we take that decision out of your loved one's hands when they are grieving your loss. So again, we're going to recap what you're getting: a planning and design session, a $1,200 value, kids protection plan, a $3,000 value, trust protection package, a $16,800 value, a will package, a $2,000 value, incapacity protection package, a $6,000 value, a trust funding package, $6,000 value, for a total value of $35,000. So why is trust funding so important? Trust funding is important because if your trust is not funded, all you have is an expensive stack of paper. Your trust must be funded. And we're going to make sure that happens in the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. We will transfer one property, your primary home, into your trust. We will create assignment of personal property to transfer your personal property into the trust. We will also give you a personal property memorandum so you can decide who gets those keepsakes. You will be surprised that people will actually fight over stuff like that. So we're giving you a memorandum. You could be like, who gets those family heirlooms? Who's getting what? And then we transfer other assets into your trust, including 401ks, life insurance, stocks, etc., into your trust. But under this trust protection package, we're not transferring business assets or intellectual property. If you need that transfer, yes, we can handle it for you outside of the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. What we have for you also is that, you might be like $39,000, $800. Wow, that's a lot. But think about it. This is an investment into your family's future, right? This is an investment into your family future. And if you were on the fence, we could give you a piece of this. I have a special bonus for you. This peace of mind bonus right here is that if you sign up now to get your estate planning done and purchase the family wealth protection blueprint, we will give you additional bonuses. So you'll get a trust diagram. This is a visual overview of your estate plan. Fiduciary letters. So we are going to send guidance to the people that's named in your plan, your fiduciaries. You get trust ID cards. So it helps you to title your assets properly. You get a family emergency ID card for your wallet, so you can notify your guardians in the case of an emergency. You get the time capsule talk that preserve your love and wisdom in the heart vault. It is pretty much priceless. Maybe you could put a price tag on it. We have quantified here, but it really doesn't do it justice. And then you have memorial instructions. So you decide what happens when you're gone. A custom binder that's tabbed, color-coded, and organized because I'm OCD like that. And you get digital documents. All documents are provided digitally, and the notary services are included. So you will get an additional $4,800 in bonuses. So let's review again. What are you going to get here? You will get, let's look at it, all you're getting in the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint. You will get a planning and design session, a $1,200 value. You'll also get, your kids protection plan, a $3,000 value. Trust protection package, $16,800 value. A will package, a $2,000 value. Incapacity protection package, a $6,000 value. Trust funding package, a $6,000 value. The peace of mind bonus of $4,800 value for a total value of $39,800. And yes, you might say, wow, this is a lot, but think about this. If all this did was guarantee your kids would be raised by the people you choose and not the courts, would it be worth it? If all it did was ensure your family could access your money immediately without probate delays, would it be worth it? And if all this does was protect your children's inheritance from lawsuits, divorces, and bad decisions, would it be worth it? Yes, I'm sure. And if you answer yes to all those questions, it would be worth it. What's the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint worth to you? Protect your privacy and avoid the nightmare of probate. Give you the peace of mind that your legacy is secure. How much would you pay to get the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint? So here's the cost comparison. The cost of doing nothing is $90,000. The cost of the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint is $39,800. It's not a cost. And think about it. This is not a cost. So let's get this straight. This here, the Family Wealth Protection Blueprint, it's not a cost. It's an investment in your family's future. Because the cost of not doing nothing is $90,000 plus in court costs and legal fees. 12 to 24 months of delays, frozen bank accounts, family infighting, foster care risk, and loss of inheritance. The Family Wealth Protection Blueprint is $39,800, but it equals peace of mind. It protects your children, preserves your legacy, bypasses courts and delays, maximizes what your family receives, ensures your wishes are honored, gives you priceless emotional freedom. You are not spending $39,800. You're securing your family's future. So, as you can see, it's a good deal at $39,800. But because you're ready to take action, it's not going to be that. I'm not going to charge you $39,800 because you're ready to take action. So you're going to get the planning and design session, $1,200 value, the kids protection plan, a $3,000 value, the trust protection package, a $16,800 value, a will package, a $2,000 value, the incapacity protection package, a $6,000 value, trust funding package, another $6,000 value, the peace of mind bonus of $4,800 value, a total value of $39,800, and your investment today is only $10,000. And you might be saying, why am I offering it at just $10,000 when it's nearly worth $40,000? Because it's simple. You showed up, you care about your kids, and you're not like everyone else. You actually want to take action to protect your family. And I believe that kind of commitment should be rewarded. This isn't about discounting value. Totally not, because it's worth this $39,800. It's about investing in people who are serious about doing the right thing. I want to help as many families I can before life throws them the unexpected. That's why I am giving you this opportunity to get the complete family wealth protection blueprint, the $39,800 legal fortress for just $10,000, but only for those who take action now. So how do you get started? How do you get started? Now, by this point, you have seen the incredible value you're getting, nearly $40,000 worth of estate planning and protection and peace of mind for just $10,000. Here's the thing. I can't help everyone. I only take on a limited number of families each month to make sure everyone gets the care in planning, detail, and customization they deserve. So if you're thinking, yes, this is what my family needs, the time to act is now. To lock in your spot and start your family wealth protection blueprint, all you need today is to make a deposit of $2,500. That deposit secures your place in my calendar. It kicks off your personalized planning process and ensures your family gets protected before it's too late. Click the link now to reserve your spot, or go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/futureproof-go, because let's face it, you don't get to choose when crisis happens. You only get to choose whether you're prepared. Let's get prepared together. So right now, you have two choices. First, the first option, it's like do nothing and leave your estate in chaos, your children unprotected, and family conflict. Second option, future-proof your family and get peace of mind knowing they will be taken care of no matter what. So doing nothing means, you're leaving your family in chaos, leaving your children vulnerable, leaving your family to fight through court battles, confusion, and conflict. And deep down, you know that's not what you want. But option two, as I just mentioned, you future-proof your family. You make the decision to future-proof your family. You say yes to protecting your kids, yes to preserving your legacy, yes to peace of mind, knowing your family is taken care of no matter what. And all it takes to get started is a $2,500 deposit to secure your family's wealth to secure your family wealth protection blueprint today. Your legacy deserves to be protected. Your kids deserve stability. You deserve peace of mind. So what is it going to be? Option 1 or option 2? And here's the link. If you're on option 2 track right now, you go to bit.ly/futureproof go. And you go right now and you sign up and you secure your family wealth protection blueprint. You still not convinced? Well, listen, the real question is, now some of you, I know you're kind of like, you're still on the fence, you're thinking about it, you're weighing it, you're still asking yourself, should I really invest in this? Why am I going to spend this, $10,000 eventually? And why should I spend this $2,500 now? Is it worth it? Is now the right time? Yeah, but you're looking at the wrong questions. Those aren't the real questions you should be asking yourself right now. The real question you should be asking yourself right now is, if something happened to you tomorrow, would your children be protected? Would your family know what to do? Would they have immediate access to what they need? Or would they be stuck in court, grieving and confused? That is the question that matters. That really is the question that matters. Because $10,000 is just a number. But your kids, their security, their emotional well-being, their ability to stay in the home they know with the people who love them, that is priceless. You don't invest in the family wealth protection blueprint because it's cheap. You invest because you refuse to leave your family's future to chance. So again, the real question is, should I spend the money? The real question is, can I afford not to? And if you answer no, then you already know what to do. Click the link, make the deposit, and let's get your family protected. Again, that's bit.ly/futureproof go. And let's get your family protected. Okay, you might still not be convinced. All right, I know some of you are this close to making a decision. You know it's what your family needs, but you just need that final nudge to say yes. Okay, all right, so let me make it easier for you. When you reserve your family wealth protection blueprint today, during this masterclass, you're going to get an exclusive bonus package valued at $1,220. Absolutely free. What's included in this bonus? You get a 1 year of Legacy Shield VIP membership of $1,000 value. This premium membership ensures your estate plan stays up to date, your family stays protected, and your legacy stays secure. No matter what life throws your way, you get life and legacy tracker, so nothing gets lost. Not your accounts, not your subscriptions, not your assets. Everything is accounted for. So you wouldn't have that case with my client that had the royalties that they didn't know about for so long and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. You wouldn't have subscriptions that keep running that your family don't know exist, that is just taking money every single month, because they will, until like the card gets deactivated. Again, you will be losing money. And we'll also give you a password book to track, the passwords, because when something happens, your family shouldn't be left guessing how to access what you've built. Like I have, it's so funny, I did a planning session and with a couple, and I was telling them, okay, you're getting this and you're getting that, giving them the password book. And the husband goes, oh, I have one password. So all my passwords are stored there. And I said to him, okay, and what do you need to get in one password? He's like, a password. Oh, I write it in the book. So this is why it's important in the age of everything being digital, everything being online. If you don't have things like people don't have the password to the things you own, it's like seriously, you need court order and so on to get them. So you got a fireproof, and finally you got a fireproof, waterproof emergency attaché case, a $100 value. It's a secure grab and go case to hold your plan so your most important documents are protected from fire, flood in the case of an emergency. And this one just struck like really close to home because there was this wildfire down in South Jersey where I live, and it was scary. I just remember getting up at like midnight one night because I just smelled smoke inside of my house, and I thought the block was burning. Thank God it wasn't, but it was like so scary for a few days there. And I'm just like, okay, where are my estate planning documents? Where's my passport? Where's my deed? Where's all the things that are important to me so I could just grab it and go? And that's what that emergency case would do for you. So, but here's the catch. This bonus right here, this masterclass only bonus, or only for those who take action right now. Now, today, during this masterclass, once we end the session, the bonus disappears. So if you've been waiting for a sign, like, Lord, show me a sign if I should sign up, this is it. Go for it. You are not just getting peace of mind and protection, you're getting an entire system and exclusive tools to ensure your plan works when your family needs it most. Reserve your spot today with the $2,500 deposit and claim your masterclass bonus. So let's recap, because why not? You got to know all the goodness you're getting. You're getting the planning and design session for $1,200, the kids protection plan for $3,000, the trust protection plan as $6,800 value, the will package at $2,000 value, the incapacity package, protection package is $6,000 value, the trust protection package is $6,000 value, a peace of mind bonus of $4,800 value, masterclass exclusive bonus of $1,220 value, a total value of $41,020. Your investment in your family's future and future-proofing your wealth is $10,000, and you get to reserve it today for just $2,500. Okay, so now is the moment. The time is here. All right, if you're still here, it means you care. Get it? It rhymes. You want to protect your kids. You want peace of mind. You want to make the right decision, but maybe you're overthinking it. So let's get crystal clear. You're getting nearly $40,000 in value of customized, personalized estate planning for just $10,000. And you get to reserve your spot through a deposit today of only $2,500. You've seen what happens when families don't plan. You've seen the cost in dollars, time, and trauma. And now you've got everything you need to avoid it. The family wealth protection blueprint. So the only thing left is to ask is, are you going to leave your family's future up to chance, or are you going to secure it? Don't wait for crisis to force your hand. Don't put it off to someday, because that someday, like, literally sometime never comes. Because the truth is, someday isn't promised. Click the link, make the deposit, lock in your plan, protect your kids, and step into the peace of mind you've been craving. Again, that link is bit.ly/futureproof-go. Let's get your family future-proofed starting today. Today is the day. So go right now